Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we're strapping in for a look at a stock that's really been taken off, Rocket Lab. Now, based on the reports and data you send over, our mission today is pretty clear. We want to figure out, is Rocket Lab actually a good buy right now? We've pulled together a recent analysis, financial data, market stuff, just trying to get the clearest picture for you on where it stands. And hey, if you find this kind of breakdown helpful, please do hit subscribe, maybe give us a like, and definitely tell us what you think in the comments. Oh, and seriously, if there's a specific company you want us to dig into next time, drop its name below. That really helps us out.
Absolutely. Ready for liftoff. Rocket Lab is, well, it's a really interesting one because you're not just looking at a launch company. It's more than that. They're a space systems provider, and they do a lot of it themselves. So to figure out if it's a buy, we got to start with the basics, right? The fundamentals. And wow, the speed of their growth.
Okay, yeah, let's get into that acceleration because the revenue numbers, you can't really argue with them. They're moving fast. Q2 2025 revenue hit $144.5 million. That's up 36% from the year before. Pretty solid.
It is solid. But what's really eye-opening, I think, for investors looking at the bigger picture is the trailing 12 months revenue. Zoom out a bit, and that number is $504.26 million. That's a jump of 78% compared to the previous year.
78%, wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's not just growth, that's serious acceleration. It tells you two things, really. One, demand for what they do is just skyrocketing. And two, they're actually managing to scale up their operations to handle it. They're grabbing market share fast.
And you can see why the stock price has reacted the way it has with numbers like that.
Exactly.
But, okay, speed is one thing. What about the quality of that revenue? The sources mentioned non-GAAP gross margins at 36.9% in Q2.
Yeah.
Now, for aerospace, that sounds pretty good. Like they're managing costs well.
It is good. 36.9% gross margin non-GAAP. That suggests strong operational leverage, good cost control, absolutely.
Yeah.
Those are green flags for efficiency.
I sense a but coming.
Well, yeah. Here's the big conflict, the tension in the whole story. How excited can we get about 36.9% gross margin when, on a GAAP basis, the TTM net loss is still $231.31 million?
Oof.
That works out to an EPS of minus 46 cents. So yes, you're getting rapid growth, but you're paying a very, very steep price for it in terms of profitability right now. That's the core dilemma.
Right, that's a serious burn rate. Is there any sign they're getting a handle on it, though? Is it getting better?
Yes, there is, and that's important context. The trend is improving. The loss seems to be narrowing. If you look at the consensus estimates for next quarter's EPS, it's expected to be around minus 9 cents.
Okay.
Which is, quite a bit better than the minus 13 cents they posted last quarter.
So still losing money, but less money.
Exactly. It suggests they are getting tighter operationally, kind of closing that gap, even while they're pouring capital into future stuff like Neutron.
Okay, that makes sense. But before you jump into strategy, we really need to flag a caveat here, right? The data we're using, it's from financial aggregators, market reports. It's synthesized.
Right.
We haven't personally dug through their latest 10Q or 10K filings. So things like current debt levels, their exact cash position, free cash flow.
Yeah.
We can't give a detailed assessment on those.
Absolutely. Critical point. If you're seriously considering investing, you have to look at those official SEC filings when they come out. Otherwise, you're missing key pieces about their financial health, especially cash reserves.
Definitely. Okay, so keeping that in mind, let's talk about why they need all that capital. Let's shift to their strategy, their competitive position. What makes Rocket Lab stand out in, let's face it, a pretty crowded space market these days?
Yeah, it is getting crowded, but Rocket Lab has carved out a strong position. They're seen as a leader, especially in the small and increasingly medium-class launch vehicle segment. And they serve a mix of customers, both commercial companies and government agencies all over the world.
And it's not just about the launch, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier they do more.
Exactly. That's their key advantage, I think. Their moat, if you will. It's the vertical integration. See, most competitors, they do one thing well, maybe launch, maybe satellite building. Rocket Lab aims for the whole package.
The whole package,
Meaning they manufacture the spacecraft itself, like their Photon satellite bus. Then they launch it on their own Electron rocket, and then they can even manage it for the customer once it's in orbit.
Ah, okay. So design, build, launch, operate. That's pretty comprehensive.
It really is. It's an end-to-end solution, and that's pretty rare among their peers. It makes things simpler for customers.
A one-stop shop. Okay, I can see how that's an advantage. So that integration is helping them grow now. What about the future? What are the big growth drivers they're banking on?
Well, They're pushing hard on expansion, going after new international markets. They've specifically mentioned Japan, and also targeting more international defense contracts. That's one angle.
Makes sense.
But the really big bet, the thing that could fundamentally change the company, is the development of Neutron. That's their next generation medium lift rocket.
Neutron, right. And why is that such a big deal?
Because if they pull Neutron off successfully, it opens up a whole new market for them. We're talking heavier satellites launching constellations. It's a much larger, potentially much more lucrative part of the space industry than just small satellites.
Got it. So Neutron is key to unlocking that next level of growth. And it seems like the market is already pricing in some of that ambition, judging by the stock chart.
Looking at the technicals, as of October 2025, the stock's been on a tear.
Strong uptrend, right? Trading way above its 50-day and 200-day moving averages.
Oh, yeah, the price action has been aggressive. It's clearly fueled by this narrative around Neutron, around those margins improving, the revenue growth, all of it. The 52-week range tells the story. It's bounced between $9.20 on the low end and $73.50 on the high end.
And where is it now?
As of October 10th, the closing price was $66.42. So it's bumping right up against that resistance level near the all-time high of $73.50. It's really testing that ceiling.
So technically speaking, if it holds this momentum, the analysis suggests maybe a trading range of, what, $64 to $80 over the next few months seems possible?
Plausible, yes, if the bullish momentum continues. But, and this is crucial, this is absolutely not a stock for conservative investors.
Right. You mentioned volatility earlier.
Exactly. Look at the beta, 2.15. That means it's statistically more than twice as volatile as the overall market.
Wow.
So when the market goes up, Rocket Lab tends to go up even more. But when the market drops...
It drops harder.
Much harder. You absolutely need careful risk management if you're trading or investing in a stock that moves like this. It magnifies everything.
Understood. Okay, what about the Wall Street analysts? What's the consensus view?
It's interesting. The consensus rating is currently a moderate buy. And if you look at the breakdown, 8 out of 13 analysts covering it rate it either buy or strong buy.
Moderate buy. That sounds okay, maybe cautiously optimistic.
It does, until you look at the price targets they've set. And this is where it gets, well, a bit confusing.
How so?
Well, one source we looked at shows the average 12-month price target from analysts is $42.27.
Wait, $42? But you just said the stock is trading at 66.
Exactly. Another source, pooling 16 analysts, has a slightly higher average target of $52.09, with a range from $45 to $60, still way below where the stock is right now.
That's a huge disconnect. What does that even mean? Are the analysts just way behind?
It implies a couple of things. Primarily, it suggests the market is pricing in future events like Neutron being a huge success, like profitability arriving sooner rather than later, much, much more aggressively than the analysts' traditional models are reflecting right now. Basically, if you're buying at $66, you are betting heavily that those future catalysts are going to happen and that the analysts are significantly underestimating the potential. You're paying a premium for optimism that isn't yet fully baked into those formal targets.
So you need a lot of confidence in the execution.
You need supreme confidence in the upcoming wins, both operational and commercial, to justify the current price relative to those targets.
Okay, let's talk about those potential wins. What catalysts have actually happened recently, say in the last 3 months, July through September 2025? What's been driving the positive momentum?
Well, there were several tangible wins that definitely helped build confidence. Back in July, they announced some pretty high-profile contracts for their Photon spacecraft, specifically for deep space missions.
Ah, so proving the Photon isn't just for Earth orbit.
Exactly. It showed that part of their vertical integration strategy is gaining real traction in more complex areas. That was a good proof point.
Okay, what else?
Then in August, there's a big commercial validation. They announced a new partnership with a major telecom provider. That signals they're making serious inroads into that lucrative satellite internet and data relay market.
Telecom money, always good.
Always good. And then in September, they strengthened their government ties, participating in several Department of Defense innovation programs. That helps solidify their role in the national security space sector, which usually means stable, potentially higher margin contracts down the line.
Right, so concrete steps towards actually making money from different avenues.
Yes, tangible steps toward monetization.
Okay, so that's the recent past.
Yeah.
Looking ahead, what are the key dates or events investors should be watching over the next, say, 3 months?
The big one, short term, is definitely the Q3 earnings report. That's scheduled for October 30th, 2025.
And what will people be watching for there?
Continued strong revenue growth, obviously, but critically, They'll be laser focused on whether that net loss continues to narrow like the estimates suggest it should. Any surprises there, good or bad, could move the stock significantly.
Okay, earnings on October 20th. Anything else?
Yeah, keep an eye on November 10th. That's when a major ETF rebalancing is scheduled. If Rocket Lab gets included in some of the big space-focused ETF, you could see a wave of institutional buying. That alone could potentially push the stock through that $73.50 resistance level. It adds buying pressure.
Interesting. ETF inclusion could be a technical catalyst in itself.
It certainly could.
Okay, now for the, let's call it the more speculative side. What kind of rumors or industry chatters floating around, the stuff that drives some of that high beta volatility?
Rumor mill.
Yeah.
Well, there's been persistent chatter about strategic M&A activity. Sometimes you hear Rocket Lab mentioned as a potential acquisition target for a huge defense contractor that wants to instantly buy into the small satellite market.
Or the other way around.
Or the other way around, yeah. Maybe Rocket Lab looks to acquire smaller tech firms to bolster that vertical integration even further, perhaps in software or components. It's all speculation, of course.
Of course. What about government stuff? Any whispers there?
There are unconfirmed reports, industry scuttlebutt about ongoing talks with NASA, potentially for some kind of specialized fleet support contract. If something like that were confirmed, a long-term operational deal with NASA, that would be huge validation.
Massive credibility boost.
Absolutely. And then there are the really out there rumors. Sometimes you hear whispers about a potential breakthrough in propulsion technology they might reveal. If that ever happened, and it's a big if, it could completely rewrite the economics of their launches. But that's deep in speculation territory.
Understood. High risk, high reward indeed.
Sure.
Okay, so we've covered the bullish momentum, the potential catalysts, the exciting future. Now we have to balance it. Let's talk explicitly about the key risks here.
Absolutely essential. And the biggest one, staring us right in the face, is still that profitability issue. The TTM net loss is $231 million. That means they are burning cash.
And the risk is?
The risk is that the burn continues. If that amazing 78% TTM revenue growth starts to slow down for any reason, maybe market conditions change, maybe competition heats up more than expected, then that cash burn becomes a much bigger problem much faster. It's a company-specific risk.
Okay, cash burn tied to growth slowing. What else?
Execution risk. Plain and simple. It's primarily tied to Neutron. Any significant delays in developing Neutron, getting it tested, getting it flying, that would hit market sentiment hard because so much expectation is built around it.
And failures too, presumably.
Oh, absolutely. Even with their established Electron rocket, any launch failure is a major setback. It impacts customer confidence, insurance rates, and the stock price immediately. Reliability is everything in this business.
Right. And the final risk factor.
Just circling back to that volatility. That beta of 2.15 isn't just a number. It represents real market risk. If the overall market takes a significant downturn, a high beta stock like Rocket Lab is likely to get hit disproportionately hard. It thrives in a bull market, but it can get crushed in a bear market. Investors need to be prepared for that potential downside volatility.
Okay, so bringing this all together, despite the risks, the overall assessment from the sources we looked at seems surprisingly positive. You mentioned a bullish rating.
Yeah, based on the synthesis of the data, the sources generated an overall bullish rating, 8.5 out of 10.
8.5, that's pretty high. What's the main rationale for that score?
It really comes down to that potent combination. The truly exceptional TTM revenue growth, that 78% figure, is hard to ignore, coupled with the trend of narrowing net losses. Add the strong technical momentum with the stock pushing against its all-time highs, and you get a powerful growth narrative that the market is clearly embracing right now, despite the risks and the analyst price targets.
So given all that, how might different types of investors think about this stock, currently trading around $66?
Well, for shorter-term traders, it looks potentially attractive right now. They might be playing the earnings momentum into late October or betting on a technical breakout above that $73 resistance level, maybe driven by ETF inclusion.
Riding the wave, basically.
Riding the current wave, yes. For longer-term investors, it's a different calculation. It remains, I think, a compelling story if you believe in the structural growth of the small sat and orbital services market long-term. But your investment thesis is fundamentally tied to Rocket Lab executing successfully, particularly on Neutron, and continuing their expansion into those new markets and services. It's a bet on future execution.
Which brings us to our final thought for you, the listener, as you mull over Rocket Lab. Given those substantial ongoing losses, that $231 million TTM net loss and that really high beta, meaning high volatility, The crucial question you need to answer for yourself probably isn't just if Neutron will eventually launch. That's almost table stakes at this valuation.
Right. The real question, the multi-million-dollar question, is how quickly can Rocket Lab translate those new defense wins, those telecom partnerships, and that strong 36.9% gross margin into actual net profit? How fast can they close that $231 million gap?
Because the speed of that path to profitability, that's likely what will determine whether buying the stock today at $66 turns out to be a bargain or just buying into the hype.
Exactly. Something to think about. We'll see you next time.